Drag racing fan, Monday morning racer, live between the slicks, and definitely looking forward to this episode on what I am calling, I think from now on, the most diverse drag racing talk show out there. There are some who are definitely NHRA centric. There are others who are going to talking their opinion the whole time. Nothing wrong with that. There are going to be in the future a show, maybe some news on that later, concerning the opinions back and forth like a Skip and Shannon Sharp type of scenario, but drag racing. But this show right here, from NHRA to PDRA, ADRL, no time, I don't care if they're drag racing down a hill. We'll talk about it here on Between the Slicks with Monday Morning Racer. And all of it brought to you by strutmasters.com, which I'm at the headquarters right now. Let me say hello to a few folks. Destroyer 1320, hello MMR, hello to you, Destroyer. Dale, good evening, Lee, good evening to you, Dale. And Sam, thank you for being on. Hey, man, to you as well. Look, folks, just like they've done, hit the like button, put something in the comment section, get the discussion going and generating. We've got two great guests on tonight, John Hale, and later on Kyle Lang, the head starter for the PDRA. Well, look, without any further ado, let me bring up the steel card, show you our guests tonight. Again, John Hale, Kyle Lang, and up right now, John Hale, the owner of Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce. Man, good to have you on tonight. Thank you for your time. How are things there in the fine, great state of Texas?
Great to be here. Everything in Texas is like everything else that's going on in this country. We're waiting to see the results of this election. There's a lot of stress going on. But a great, beautiful day here in North Texas. Got to go up and fly twice today in my extra. Got my truck detailed. I'm at home and I'm here on the show talking to you. So it's a great day.
Man, look, so glad you've had a great day. Great to have you here. John, look, let's dive right into it. First and foremost, I want to ask about the sauce because, man, look, you've got some spectacular sauce. Let me bring some photos up here that I got at the Fall Nationals. This stuff is the real deal. It is good. And basically, lay out your story of encountering what now is the Best of Texas barbecue sauce and why you got involved with it, and now you're the owner.
I don't have any great story that I whipped this sauce up in my kitchen and came up with this miracle recipe. The story is that a buddy of mine's coworker's wife, she did all that in her garage and started making it in small batches there. I tried it and I fell in love with it. And I approached my friend and I said, hey, why don't you see if everybody would be okay that I put my own label on the sauce and sell it at the races with my t-shirts out of the back of my trailer. And so we did that. And we did that for about 5 years. And then eventually they said, hey, why don't you buy the company from us? And at first they had a really big figure, and I said, well, let's just keep it the way it is. And then eventually we agreed on a price, and I bought everything. I bought the recipe, and we entered into agreement where they can't compete, and all the legal details that you have to protect yourself with. And I changed the name. I was selling it as Texas Nitro, John Hale's Texas Nitro, and I gave some to a friend. He offered it to some friends to try, and one of them didn't want to try it because it said nitro on it, and she associated that with it being hot. It's going to burn her mouth. So I didn't want someone in the grocery store passing it up on the shelf because they would think it was hot. So that's how we got to the Best of Texas name and where we're at now.
Man, look, the stuff is good. Like, I had never tried it until I was at the Fall Nationals, and it is smoky yet sweet. And what I found most pleasing is it's not too thick and it's not too watery. It is like the perfect consistency for a barbecue sauce. So they hit it right. They hit the nail on the head and got it right.
Yeah, with this sauce, why make your own? This sauce was perfect. or to my taste, and I believe in it, and I believe it can be a national brand. With this COVID, a lot of the stores and everything aren't accepting new accounts at all. So we're hoping that after the first of the year, we'll be able to get into some more stores and see the buyers and create these new accounts and expand, our stores are on the shelf in these stores.
So, man, look, a lot of folks might be wondering, like, why are we talking about barbecue sauce on a drag racing talk show? Well, they can see, obviously, the funny cars behind you. If I change the view, they can see the Best of Texas sticker right there on the Terry Haddock Top Fuel dragster that Cameron Foray was driving in, on the funny car, on the Leverage Top Fuel dragster, also on the Top Fuel dragster for Joey Haas in Indy and also at the Fall Nationals. So I've got to ask, is there ROI with putting your name on drag cars? Does it make sense from a business standpoint, or you being in it and being passionate about it? Is that why it makes sense for you?
There's a bunch of factors that go in here, and number one, I want to support NHRA drag racing. These guys are all my friends, and they're all new drivers. They're coming into the sport, and any type of help that they can get, they gladly accept. Also, there's another fact there that NHRA fans are loyal to whichever companies support drag racing. So if they see that Best of Texas is sponsoring some cars at the drag race, they're going to say, hey, you know what? I got to look up Best of Texas and buy something and thank them for supporting drag racing. And I see it. Every time we're on a car, we get a flood of orders on Monday, and a lot of them will have a note in there thanking us personally for supporting NHRA drag racing, the sport they love. These I consider a bargain for the TV coverage that you're going to get, and putting that name in front of those fans at the track and at home watching on TV. It's a huge bargain. We were on prominent spots of all of these cars, including Joe Morrison's car. And, I thought it was a bargain. I thought it was the right thing to do. As far as return on investment, maybe in the long run, way down the road, we might. Right now, we're not shipping out truckloads of sauce because of these sponsorships. But I'm going to have to answer your question. It's mainly passion. It's also helping these kids live their dream like I lived mine. And I thought it was a bargain to help them out. And I'm pleased to be on there, honored to be on there. All good kids, and they do a good job.
Well, man, it's good to hear that people are ordering the sauce and saying, hey, we saw the name on the car and we want to try this sauce, or we're making sure we're ordering and stocking our cabinet. Matter of fact, Destroyer 1320, he's like, how do I order some? My Traeger smoked ribs need some of that Best of Texas barbecue sauce. So, yeah, tell the folks out there, where can they find it?
Online, www.bestoftexasbbqsauce.com.
There it is, folks. Go check it out at the website there. There also is a Facebook page. You can find that information there as well.
Absolutely.
And, Dunk here, the Flash Dunkle Racing, he said I can call him Dunk. He says drag racing and barbecue is the best. I think drag racing and barbecue goes exceptionally well together. They definitely do.
Absolutely does. What are you going to do after a good day of drag racing?
Man,
you're gonna burn some meat and drink some beer with your buddies.
Yep, and I mean,
families.
That's it. There's no better day. There's no better day. Burn some nitro, lay some barbecue sauce on some good meat, and enjoy it.
Yep, and so we're all one big family out there. The more the merrier.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Well, folks, look, we're going to take a quick break, say thank you to some sponsors. We're going to come back and talk with John a little bit about living that dream and specifically, driving funny cars.
Looking for the perfect do-it-yourself air suspension kit for your truck? Strut Masters has got it. Our complete heavy-duty air suspension kit comes with everything you need. It bolts right in with no modifications. You can have it all. Heavy-duty hauling and towing performance and the smooth ride you crave. Get a complete air suspension kit for your pickup at strutmasters.com or call us at 866-597-2397.
I love Lou with his thumbs up there. I love it every time. John, look, you are not just a barbecue sauce man. You are a funny car driver. You've been doing it for a while. Clue folks in that may not be familiar with you. How did you get bit with the drag racing bug? Where did you begin, and how did you wind up in the seat of nitro burning funny car?
My late brother had worked for Mike Burkhart when I was a kid. So when I turned 13 and it came time for me to get a summer job, my brother said, "Hey, you ought to go work for Mike at his auxiliary gas tank company." And this was in the early 80s when, late 70s and early 80s when we had the gas rationing. So he installed oversized gas tanks and auxiliary gas tanks on any kind of vehicle you wanted. So I started off there working and learning, about cars and high performance stuff. And I saw his pictures in his office, and I just thought it was the coolest thing. I dreamed about doing it from that day. And one of the pictures I saw in there was the 74 Monza that Dale Emery drove of Mike Burkhart's. And it became my favorite paint scheme. So you fast forward to 10 years ago, 2010, and I wanted a nostalgia funny car, and so I bought one from Virgil Hartman, and I put my own body on it, which was a Camaro. And even though it wasn't a Monza body, I wanted that paint job on there that was on that 74 Monza. So that's what we did, and we put that Mike Burkhart paint job on there. It was a tribute to him, and we had some good success with it. I think by 2012 we'd won our first DRO championship. 2013 we won again. We won the Hot Rod Reunion a couple times, runnered up once. We had a really good run with that car, and eventually it came time to put a different body on it, a little lighter body. So Steve Shuck came up with the One Bad Texan design, and I thought it was really one of the nicest funny car paint schemes since the Snake Army car. And it had a little touch of Evel Knievel in there too, with the stars, and we had a little Texas twist to it with a Texas flag on the top. And it was one of my favorite cars, and I'm being biased. So then it came time to maybe drive a big car. So I first started working on my license in 2013 in Steve Kluger's Impala, driving that when I could. And eventually that led to getting a offer from John Dunn at Jim Dunn Racing to come over and drive their big show car. So I did that in 2015 and 16. Did the full tour, 24 races, and then still raced about 6 races in my nostalgia car with the One Bad Texan. Along that line, we did a tribute to Jim Dunn. We did the Fireman Quickie scheme on our nostalgia car. And at the same time, we did the One Bad Texan with a big show car. It was kind of cool. So, a lot of travel, doing those 30 races in 15, 16, kind of made me really think that maybe I'm missing out on something at home. There's other stuff to do. I have a beautiful wife and nice house and dogs, and I'm not here. So it, made me really rethink about what I wanted to do, and maybe there's life outside of drag racing. So I wanted to concentrate more on my barbecue sauce, flying. I had a couple of planes at that time, and I thought, that's what I wanted to do. And I sold my car to Brandon Lewis, and I miss driving, but I don't miss some of the other things about the travel, being tethered to that car. It takes an incredible amount of time to get those cars ready, get them there. My wife handled all the travel and the air, the air and the hotels. And without her, I don't know how we would have done it. But, uh, I don't look back and regret it. I'm happy, got a hot rod airplane, and I still get my thrills. And I miss driving. And if I get the opportunity, I'll drive again. But it's going to have to be, if it was a big show car, it'd have to be like 10 races. I feel like that you can't just step in those cars a race or two and be up to speed with them. You're going to be behind the car, and you're just wasting your time, the Funny Car Chaos, we were a title sponsor there with the barbecue sauce. That took up some time going to those races, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that is one of the hottest new deals out there, as far as if you have a nitro car or a nostalgia funny car. It's a great place to burn nitro and have some fun, and eat some barbecue after the races and drink some beer with your family.
Right on, man. As you mentioned, I'm sure going as fast as an individual can in the eighth of a mile, and 1,000 feet in the quarter mile with a nitromethane funny car, that anybody's going to miss it after experiencing that type of rush. But yet you can now have a different type of rush by being that sponsor, by being there at the track and having a whole nother different aspect of it. And it really sounds very similar to my boss, Chip Lofton. I mean, he kind of missed out on drag racing after his younger days, and now he's kind of reliving everything. He loves to push those cars to the line and be there at the line and experience them launching and interacting with the guys. And it's a whole nother dynamic, but you can still have a great day at the drag race.
He's a great guy too, and I enjoyed hanging out with him and yourself at the track the other day. But yeah, there's a lot to enjoy being on the other side of the firewall. On these cars, there's when you're racing and you're driving these cars, you get to see the pair in front of you run. And when you're at the other end of the racetrack, you may turn around and get to see the pair behind you, come down the racetrack. And you don't really get to enjoy the drag races. So, when you're on the other side of the firewall, and you get to enjoy that. You get to spend a little extra time with people instead of being on the go. You've always got to be somewhere at a certain time, or you got to be short with people, and being on the other side of the firewall affords you to take that time and enjoy people and the drags.
Well, man, look, we've got some great questions coming from those out in the comment section watching tonight. Dale asked, what is it like to drive for Big Jim Dunn back in the day? So Mr. Dunn's got a bit of a reputation, and the program is a little different from all the other programs out there, like the little short burnout and really being tight on budget, things of that nature. So what was it like racing for him in that program?
It was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Everything that you have seen or you think it would be, it is. I'm not gonna take any of that away from him. He is exactly that person that you think he is, but he's a very fair person, and he's actually a lovable guy, and we're great friends to this day with the family as well. He has a certain budget, and he looks at where he's at in the year, and he knows where he needs to be on the budget. So he may not lean on the car a little bit and kind of catch back up on the budget, but usually around the U.S. Nationals, he's got that budget about where he wants it, and he's going to lean on it for Indy, and that was always cool. He'd tell me, hey, I gave you the bowl, so you better hang on. So I knew he had it hopped up. But absolutely everything you think Jim would be and have heard, it's all true. But he's a very fair guy, and been racing for a long time. He's a retired firefighter, and this is his retirement, and this is what he likes to do. A lot of guys like to fish or play golf. Well, this race car is his retirement, and I hope it lasts a long time for him.
I definitely hope that is the case as well. And you got other family members now coming into it and being a part of it. That's pretty cool to see. And yeah, the Fall Nationals definitely, there's still a great relationship there because some Jim Dunn people came over and had barbecue over at the Haddock gang. So, I mean, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we invited the whole team. Big Jim was there eating with us, and his wife Diane and son John and the daughter and the whole team.
Yeah, it was a cool deal. It was a cool deal. Look, Chris Ramos has got a pretty good question here. He says, as a sponsor, do you learn of them ahead of time, or is it a last-minute deal as a drag racer? So, do these sponsorship deals, do they come about way beforehand? You're ready for it, or is it like, oh, wow, hey, car's available, let me pick up the phone and get on there before the weekend comes?
Chris is a good friend of mine. That's a good question, Chris. So I've been approached both ways. I prefer, a lot of lead time so that we can make the most of it. We can get the decals. We can get the artwork to the team. They can get the decals in the right dimensions to get them where they fit in with their other sponsors. And so that we can also get a press release out, maybe. And Joe, he even went a step further. He spent a whole day cooking some ribs, and he did a whole video for Best of Texas Barbecue Sauce to promote it. So yeah, we like to have a lot of lead time so that we can make the most out of that. But I've also been approached, like, a week or so before the deal and say, hey, anything you could help, with, would gladly be appreciated. And we've taken advantage of that too. But really, we like to have, a good lead time to where we can get that press release out for a little while.
Right, definitely. And Joe, he set a bar for you. You kind of need to start telling all the other drivers, like, all right, if we're going to sponsor you, got to use the sauce some way, somehow, and get the video out there. I think that is a great way to do that because the sauce doesn't have to go on barbecue. I mean, it can go on your burger, it can go with your chicken, whatever.
Yeah, and all his fans are watching it, so really it's a bonus for us. We're not only on the car, but he's got his fan following, and they're watching him cook, and it looked good. I didn't get to try it, but it looked damn good.
Yeah, his wife is an exceptional cook and doing a great job over there. And look, it continues to roll on. I help the Leverage team try to get the word out on what they're doing as their PR rep. And I've got this show, and we have a little show on the Leverage team, and it was continuing to get on down the line. And obviously for you sponsors, that's got to happen, I think, today. There has to be more return on investment, not just with what's on the car, but throughout the channels of social media. It's got to happen. So, yeah, when you pick up the phone next time, John, you got to tell them that. You got to do a video.
Yeah, in this day and age, the social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, all of that, they're free. So yeah, a little bit of time and a little bit of organization, a little editing, you can come up with a pretty high quality video, of like cooking show quality video, and post it up yourself, and it doesn't cost anything.
Definitely. That's the next segment on Monday Morning Racers Between the Slicks, cooking for drag racing.
There you go.
All right. So Destroyer, he's got a great question here. What was the favorite race of your career? So, yeah, man, what race in your career sticks out above them all?
Winning the Hot Rod Reunion, man, it's just, I got to tell you, I think it was 30 plus of the best nostalgia funny cars there. And you weed through them, and we ran a 5:57 in the final of our first win there, which was a tenth or so better than anybody'd run. That was a great feeling walking across that parking lot at the end of the day, carrying that trophy and that Wally, and knowing that you'd bested all those funny cars, and you outlasted them, and you won, and then we came back and did it again. I would say probably the second biggest fond memory for me would be running Ron Capps in the final at the Gator Nationals, and we just barely lost it in the final. Man, that would have been a great feeling too, to win that, take home that Wally. We came pretty close, but I haven't won a big show Wally. But yeah, the Hot Rod Reunion, by far, man, it's just a great race. I don't know if you've been, Lee, but you got to see it, man. It's almost a cultural event. There's history there. There's legends there that come to hang out, and some of the best racing you're going to find in the country. As far as nitro and nostalgia racing, it's as good as it gets.
It's definitely on my list. March Meet is definitely on my list, and Funny Car Chaos event is on my list. So
you got to do that.
I got to get those in here soon. And really, I had a lot of them planned out, but this year COVID just made everybody had to stack everything on top of each other, and it made it a challenge.
It wrecked everything.
It definitely did. It's definitely did.
Continuing to wreak havoc on things.
That it is. And look, Chris asked you this. And with this year in mind, 2020, the year that it is, look, how are sales going for you with the barbecue sauce? How are things going? Are people still got to eat? I'm sure they're searching online how to spice life up indoors with barbecue sauce.
Well, we're down a little bit, and I got to tell you, people aren't having backyard gatherings and slopping that sauce on there the same way they did before. Before this COVID, It was a slow start firing up this year, and the summer was okay, but it wasn't like last year,
I can definitely see how that would be the case, and people refraining from getting together. Maybe there'll be a surge for Thanksgiving, and people will, use a lot more barbecue sauce with their turkey or something, and it will help you
after
out.
This show, they will.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, hey, if you're watching this show, go buy barbecue sauce and tell them Monday Morning Racer sent you. There you go. Well, look, John, I have thoroughly enjoyed having you on. I appreciate your time, and we'll have to do it again. Soon. And look forward to seeing you at the next event wherever you're at, and I'm there as well.
Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it too.
Man, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Folks, John Hale, so glad to have him on. Go get that sauce. I'm telling you, look, I have tried barbecue sauce all over this country, and I'm a Carolina boy. I like my mustard base, I like the vinegar, but I'm telling you what, the best of Texas barbecue sauce, it is good. It is so good. I was so shocked at how good the consistency of that sauce was. It is not too thick. It is not too watery. It tastes smoky yet sweet. It is good, folks. Go get you some best of Texas barbecue sauce. Kyle Lane, can you hear us down there? Can you hear us? All right, I believe he can hear us. We did a little test run with him earlier. We'll see how it goes. We're going to bring Kyle Lane on here in just a few moments, the head starter for the PDRA, after this word from Hero Soap Company. Hero Soap Company is a veteran-owned establishment that produces all-natural, essential oils-infused soap that is sold with a portion of the proceeds supporting other veteran groups. Hero Soap Company. Heroes supporting heroes. Be a hero yourself and buy a bar and let freedom clean. Oh, well, look, before we talk to Kyle, let me mention Mom says that she's got 2 jars coming, and you got to mention what Mom says and she loves her barbecue sauce, and she's from Texas originally, so she's got to try that out. Thanks, Mom. You got to support Mom. Kyle, thank you for being on Between the Slicks. How you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good, bud. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Had a great conversation with John. Looking forward to this one with you because I think you have one of the most fascinating jobs in all of motorsports when it comes to the ranks of officials. Because when you look at officials in NASCAR, there's not one official that really stands out. Like, no one really knows who the flag starter is anymore. You look at F1, no one really knows who those officials are anymore. But you look at drag racing, and names like Buster and Richard and individuals of the starter actually do come up to be remembered and known as characters within drag racing themselves. And you, sir, are one of those with the PDRA. So, yeah, what's it like holding the button? Start there.
I love it. It's I never would have dreamed that's where I'd be. I started out being a water box boy, and I've been doing this now for, I think, 13 or 14 years now. I was in the water box for like 2 years, and then just moved up from there, and it's awesome. I get to see every pair. I don't miss any racing, and if I get a couple seconds to take a break, it's not very long. So, it's long days up there for sure. But I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Long day, but you're right. Yeah, you get to see all of the action, the spills and the thrills and the records. With that being said, what does it take for you to be out there all day? Like, do you do anything to personally prepare yourself other than the lollipops, which I want to get to in a moment, that allows you to stay out there and have the stamina? Like I'm, do you make sure to have a good breakfast, or do you go without breakfast? Do you, what do you like to stay hydrated with? What's your formula for being able to stay out there all day? And I've seen it. You're out there all day.
Yeah. It's really tough because, in the morning you don't want to eat too much because, throughout the whole day you're going to feel like you're stuffed, and, you're out there running around, jumping up and down, whatever other people do. But, I run around, I stay pretty busy. I don't eat a big breakfast, but I eat a good one. In Virginia, I try to go to I don't even know the name of it, but it's a Amish place, and it's biscuits and gravy, can't beat it. And so I try not to eat too much throughout the day because I don't want to get sick, and I don't want to miss any of the action. And just a lot of water, a lot of water.
Well, I'm disappointed now because someone was holding out on me of a food spot that has the best biscuits and gravy around Virginia. I mean, I knew about the Italian restaurant, but no one told me about this Amish spot. I am mad with the whole PDRA now. I love me some biscuits and gravy. So next time I'm in Virginia, I want to know about this place.
Oh, yeah.
So hold me.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes away, so it's not even that far. It's, man, you have to go there. It is. Everything is decently priced, and you will not be disappointed.
Well, I am now until I have them. Well, look, Nate Van Wagenen, Drag Illustrated member, watching Between the Slicks. I'm honored. Good to have you, Nate. He says, "Hey, Kyle." He says that to you. Look, Dale. Dale's got a good question for you. We'll start here, dive in a little bit more of the specifics. He says, how long do you like to let two competitors burn down on the starting line before you need to take charge? Well, there's video evidence of how long you will take and let them. So, yeah, what's your philosophy on it? I mean, Buster would have already red-lit those two dudes and told them to get on back, but you let them have their fun.
Oh, yeah. So it's really hard to say what the longest amount is because you can go all day. It ain't gonna bug me one bit. But it's awesome for the fans. Now, if it's like a bracket race, it's and no spectators. I mean, unfortunately, there are no spectators for bracket racing. But there's a good crowd, I don't mind it. Now, if we're pushing for like rain and weather, you only got, a few seconds before I get pretty fed up with it. And it's like, all right, let's go, because, we're trying to hurry up, push it in, and, get things done before weather comes in, or curfew. It's not only that, but you got racers back behind you too that, that are back there waiting or all that. So, I love burn downs. I try to get all the pro stock guys to do it. I try to get Johnny to do it all the time. His dad did it. I love it. I want more people to do it. I think it's awesome.
Hey, it definitely creates excitement. I was there in Indy when Chris Thorne and Stevie Fast had their little burn down, and everybody in the crowd gets behind it, and there's energy behind it. You got one guy rooting for the other, and so yeah, I think it's great for the sport. And yeah, John Placino, definitely an interesting character out there in the pits, and a bulldogish character behind the wheel. He has told me that if he's made his mind up, he's not going in first. He's just not. He's just not going to do it. And he proved that in like a 4.5 minute burn down. And it's out there on YouTube. It is wild. Folks, if you haven't seen it, you need to check it out. Well, look, Matt Mahurin, I think I'm saying that correct. He says, I've had the pleasure of running a Kyle prepped track for most of my racing career. It's been great to watch him learn and grow and tune his craft, one of the best. So, yeah, mentioning that, talk to me about track prep. You're not just a starting line individual. You actively, I've seen it, you work alongside with Tyler, and you're on that mic making calls. What do we need? So what are you looking for in the track day on, day through, that you've got to chime in up to the tower, up to Tyler with the conditions?
It just depends on the weather. Weather plays a big factor into it. Maybe percentage of what percent of the glue goes down. You got to be kind of easy with what you do on the starting line, because you could really screw it up pretty quick. You don't want to spray too much glue down to try to fix your bald spots, or there's a lot of different classes that have different styles of how I like to do things. It's really hard to maintain a track if you're not staying on top of it or not paying attention. So that's part of why I stay down there all day. One, it's my job, but one little slip up can cost some time for being down to scrape and smooth the track back out and get it prepped. We try not to take too much downtime for that, because we like to keep things going. We want the best track for people, but at the same time, we don't want to take too much time, because we usually got to have a lot of cars to run down the track.
So, folks, look, Destroyer 1320 makes a great point. Be sure to hit the like button and share. Yes, please do that. Get the word out on Between the Slicks. Got some great guests tonight. Kyle Lang, head starter with the PDRA. The PDRA, I know you've worked with other sanctioning bodies, and you work with those type of races that, are kind of like one-off events, you could say. What is the PDRA like? Why does it live up to its name? Well, professional.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin with that, because one, I had to fill Michael Spurgeon's shoes when he passed away, so that was kind of tough. But the PDRA it's top tier. And I'm not just saying that because I'm running with them. I'm saying it because before I was running with them, I hear all these great things about them. And now that I'm not saying that different people are involved, but now a few people are added into the group now. What we got is, I think we got one of the best crews for a series, probably in the world, but for sure in the United States. We got great racers, great family. I love the whole family deal. kids, and there's so many kids out there that just love watching their dads go down the track, or parents coming up there for their juniors, and I think it's awesome that we get to run that together, where we could have kids and their parents or family members run together, because that it just creates a big camping family environment.
Well, any organization that will allow Will Smith to be a part of it, is a quality organization. Love you, Will. Hope you're doing great out there. So Nate's got a good question here. What's your favorite class to watch from the middle of the starting line? Yeah, you're in between those two walls, and you've got these two cars ready to rocket down the drag strip. What class? What class?
It depends on what series it is, because if it's with PDRA, I like watching juniors. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like the juniors because they're annoying and the parents and all that jazz, but the kids in PDRA are just on top of everything. The fields are so tight there, but other than the juniors, I like my pro mods for sure, but Top Fuel, I love standing next to Top Fuel. I mean, funny cars is the same thing, but there's nothing like standing next to or standing in between two Top Fuel going off. I mean, there's nothing like it at all.
Yeah, standing on the line with Top Fuel cars, whether funny car or Top Fuel, it's hard to describe. It just is. I describe it as your life is put on pause for a moment. That's the best way I can put it. It's like, like you're not registering that heart's beating, not registering that you're breathing. I've clenched my teeth. I'm trying to hold the camera. My eye isn't focusing. It's a wild experience. There's nothing like it. Speaking of nothing like it, Vince Ford K. Jr., he mentions this. He says, raced an almost full PDRA season this year, and it definitely wouldn't be the same without my dude, Kyle Lang. Some good props there to you, man. He says this, thanks for everything you do, Socks.
That's
now,
awesome.
You have a wild sock collection. Where did this sock collection begin? And it's continued to grow, and it has a life of its own. It's like, what are the socks that are Kyle Langer is wearing today? So where did that all start and begin, man?
So it all started with the NMCA NMRA Super Bowl in Chicago. I was traveling with them a couple years ago, and I don't even remember how it got started, but it was some type of joke or something. And I don't care what people think of what I'm wearing, or they can judge me on anything. It ain't gonna bug me one bit. But the best thing about the whole socks deal is I'm visible, and people pay attention to me, and that's what I want. I want people to know where I'm at all times up there on the starting line. And I want people and the fans to see, like, all right, there's that crazy fool with the crazy socks on. He's running around. He must be in charge down there. I want to be in control, and I want people to know where I'm at. And safety is a big thing for me. So, I may wear different ones that's got cartoons or something on it, but I think it's pretty visible that people can see what I'm wearing. And, like I said, I want to be safe, and I want people to see where I'm at, because I'm running around a lot. I'm pretty safe. I feel comfortable where I'm at and what I do. But, there's some crazy people out there that may make a mistake or an error on the car. There's a lot of things that could happen and go wrong.
Definitely that is the case. That's why I feel safe when I'm wearing my orange Strutmasters jersey, and as round as I am, I feel like a big traffic barrel, and no one's going to hit me. I'm good out there. They can see me. Well, folks, look, we're going to take a word of a sponsor here real quick from fuelinjectorservices.com, and when we come back, we'll take more of your questions, and I'll ask Kyle about what is that closest call.
fuelinjectorservices.com. It's essential that your fuel injectors perform at their peak, whether you're in your daily driver or high horsepower race machine, for you to get the most out of your vehicle. At fuelinjectorservices.com, we maintain precision fuel injectors with cleaning and flow testing, as well as providing the sale of genuine brand name injectors. It can all be done at fuelinjectorservices.com, the home of Flowzilla, one of the largest injector test benches in the country. Check out fuelinjectorservices.com. Veteran owned, racer tested, aerospace refined.
Yeah, man. So the closest call that you've experienced so far being on the line, because it is a dangerous place. People, I don't think, realize how dangerous it really is. And that's why it shocks me. You go to some of the, I think it's the duck races that get all these people on the line. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Because there's even been a few moments for me, I'm like, that was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. So what about you, man? What about you? What's been that one moment like, whoo, that was close?
So, for me or for like other people?
I'll tell you what, go ahead and share both then. If you got a great story of others and you were like, yeah, go ahead and share that one and the one for yourself as well.
All right. So the closest one for me, where it really got my attention is back when I was younger. I was water box and kind of like a mop boy, cleaning up the starting line and stuff. And there was a dragster on the line, and he got up on his two-step and let go of the button, and he went in reverse. And I was not like standing right back behind him. I was a good few 10, 15 feet, but that really opened up my eye to where I stand at. So one, it don't matter what car it is, you won't ever see me stand behind a car. I'll stand off to the side to where if anything does happen, like a car, it'll like brush me on the side. But I'm pretty cautious where I stand at, especially when the cars are taking off and burning out. But the one that really opened my eyes, when cars are backing up and they have no clue what's behind them, I pay attention to that a lot because I think 3 years ago there was an incident at the PDRA race. Might have been at Galata, I believe. It was either Top Sportsman or Pro Mod or Pro Nitrous. Sorry, it was backing up and backed into a guy that was guiding a guy in the water box, and it hurt him pretty bad. So I've seen some close calls like that, and I try to keep an eye out for everybody. And if you see me up there waving my arms to stop, there's a reason why I do that. I just don't go up there to stop people because I want you to stop. It's because there's a reason. It's tough to see anything bad happen at the track. I'm not the one to. I don't like bad things to happen. I want everything to go smooth. I want everybody to have a good time. That's what everybody there is there for.
Yeah, it can definitely be a dangerous environment. You never know what might fly off. And, I agree. I have seen, in the short time I've been filming drag racing, a little over a year and a half now, maybe 2 years now, I've seen 4 cars jump back in reverse off the starting line. And I've seen one individual get hit from that. Now, not get run over, but just hit, kind of thrown back, and they were all right. I'm glad that was the case. But yeah, I do not like standing behind a drag car directly, and I've done it a couple of times because I had to get a shot, and everybody else was in my way, and I'm like, I got to get something. But even then, I'm like, all right, I'm not in the sticky stuff, and if I got to bail, I can bail.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so it's rough because there's so many people up there that I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing, but they're also not cautious. They're caring about what is in front of them, not what's back behind them. So that's the biggest part of having everybody off to the sides. And really, I honestly think that if everybody's off to the side, the race would be so much quicker because, you know, I could burn the cars out so much faster. We save a lot of time during the day when people just, you know, don't stand back behind the cars. You know, in my opinion, the only thing you're getting a shot behind the back of the car is just for launch and direction of where you're launching at. And, you know, that I could understand. But if it's like that every time, you know, it's, you know, there's got to be something done to where we could get everybody off to the sides. Because if you're standing in the middle of the track, you're holding up the race.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for really tuning purposes, if you put a GoPro on the track behind the car, that should give you sufficient what you need, you know, instead of standing there. And from a stylistic standpoint, you know, like with me, what I'm doing or what Kyle's doing, you know, that off to the side kind of, you know, panning shot is really what we're looking for, needing. And, you know, that provides that type of shot. And most time, like, you know, on race day, if you've ever noticed, you don't even see me. I rather go to the stands and actually get those shots because I think they provide a far greater look of what's actually happening in the race than that straight down the drag strip type of scenario.
Yeah. Yeah. See, it's different for you guys because you guys are up there all day and seeing, you know, the media people are up there all day, you know, seeing all the classes and stuff. So it's, you guys got to feel for, you know, every class and kind of what people are doing where, just a family member, like a wife or a friend, a crew member is just, you know, standing back there recording because they were told to is, I think, a little bit different than what you guys are doing.
Yes, there's definitely, I like to call it, you know, racer knowledge or film race knowledge. You know, I know that this driver with this crew, they're going to do a burnout this way, and I can be prepared for that, or they're going to back up this far, and that's critical. But if you have someone up there who's never been up there, or they're up there that one time, they don't know those things, and you never know what they might miss, and that can create a hazardous situation. So look, we got a question. An individual is asking, who's the baddest PDRA Mountain Motor Pro stock out there?
That's tough because none of them's gotten underneath 4 seconds yet. So I think there needs to be something changed on that now. I forget how many years it's been that nobody has been 399 yet. So nobody's claimed number one. So I think number two is I think it's got to be my buddy Platino Senior, not Junior. No, I'm just kidding. I think Platino Junior. I think Latino Junior. That's I think he's top dog. He's
boy.
I'm not focused. He's on top of everything. You know, he's a good guy, and but you know, he don't know how to do a burn down like his dad does. You know, I think he's scared.
No, his dad's got the burn down thing down for sure. And as Nate says, oh, shots fired. So, we'll be living this one in the. I hope it comes up the banquet. Maybe we'll show this live or something. That'd be awesome. So we've got a couple other great questions in the comment thread. But before we get to them, I've got to ask, dude, where does the endless supply of lollipops come from, and what is your favorite flavor?
So that just recently started. You know, it keeps me occupied up there. It gives me something to do. You know, I run around with cigars. Well, I used to, and one that's a little bit expensive, but there's a lot of people that frown upon that with you know, running around cars and stuff. But you know, I'm pretty careful about where I go with the cigar. But the lollipop, you can pretty much go anywhere. So I like strawberry. That's probably my favorite. Tootsie Pop, Blow Pop, it don't matter. Anything but them little dum dums. We gotta go big or go home.
Yeah, they don't last long enough. And yeah, guys, look, I've seen him with a cigar on the scrubber out there driving around like a boss. Like he got this big old cigar and smoke's rolling off, and like that's the man. That's the man right there.
That's right. Yeah, I love my cigars. So it gives me character up there. I love cigars in general, but I think it completes my character for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I understand character. I understand. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Everybody's got their own, their own character.
That's right. That's right.
I love everybody's character. It don't matter who you are.
So Dwayne Lang says, what has been your most memorable time on the starting line? So maybe not that closest call, but what moment stands out so far in your career that, wow, I'm glad that I'm pressing the button?
So that's my dad, but that's a tough one because I have so many. I think the most my most favorite one is probably the first national event with NHRA that we worked at Indy together with my dad and I and Mark Lyle, and then I'd say the one next to that would probably be my first event as the official starter for PDRA.
Yeah, I'm sure that has got to be a heartwarming moment that, wow, I've gone from burnout box guy to now I'm holding the button. I'm in control and command of the line. And yeah, I think it's also a testament, your story there, that, hey, start at your local track, put the work in. You never know where you might get if you do a good job and you get connected with the right people.
Yep. Yeah, it's rough to stay with it because there's a lot of people that unappreciate the employees, and like the water box boys are the most unappreciative people there are out there. And that's why I try to encourage anybody and everybody to give thanks to any employee, whether he's sitting down or working his butt off, or offering them water, or anything is so much appreciated, not just on my end, but other workers. And you got to work you can't just go from the water box to the head starter. Well, you can if something bad happens, but it's a process. It just don't happen overnight, because when you go from the water box to the starting line, you have to learn all the rules. You have to learn what happens if this happens, what happens if that happens. There's a lot of scenarios, and you have to not only know all those with the tree, you have to be the one most likely to maintain the starting line as well.
All right, man. Well, I've got to start winding this thing down, but a few more questions. So John Clark says, have you ever come out of your shoes from your own track prep?
Not at all, because I know how to walk on the starting line.
You know how to walk on the starting line. There you go. Walk on the starting line. And hey, mentioning of track prep, do you think it's gone too far at times, and that there's too much of that sticky stuff out there, and that guys, well, they need to learn how to tune a car?
Yeah, that's a really touchy subject, because I personally do not like all the track prep that's going on. I totally get having a little bit more glue down for like the radio classes, but I think now we're kind of like going over the top, and it's kind of lost its, in my opinion, what it used to be back in the day, where you didn't have all this equipment out there, fixing the track. You pretty much just had to run it off the trailer and tune to the track. But then again, it's not gonna stop and go back to that way. So you have to keep having a good, consistent track. Because there's nobody now that wants to run on a bad track because they could go somewhere else and run on a decent or a really great track. So, try to stay on top of it and get on the best track is, what I try to do for every car, every class, anybody.
So Kyle, we've mentioned characters. Everybody's got a character in drag racing. There can be some characters with some hot tempers out there. What has been a situation for you that, wow, you're like, man, I might have to throw down on the starting line here tonight because this driver is acting a fool and not listening to me? Because I made the remark to you at Virginia. I'm like, do they forget the rules when they come up to qualify? Like these guys put it in the beams and then they roll out and a red light and like, can I go down the track? And you're like, no, you had your shot. I'm like, even I know that. I mean, what's going on? So yeah, what's been a moment you're like?
So that's really tough because I get worked up with people not understanding what I'm saying. I get that they don't know the rules, but when you come up or when somebody comes up and gives me crap for whatever the situation was, they're more likely they're going to be the ones that are ticked off, and I just let them chew as hard as they can because they ain't gonna bug me one bit. They don't want what I have to give them because what I have to give them is the right answer that they don't want to hear. And I'd say 19 out of 20 times it's going to be in my favor.
Well, there it is, an iron-fisted, lollipop-chewing man.
I may not be a big boy, but I got a lot of power with not just with the PDRA, but at Indy and any track I go to, I have a good authority, I guess you could call it.
Sure, definitely so. Well, look, man, we're going to close out with this question. Scott asked, does igniting the traction compound do anything? So that method, does it in fact change anything at all in the track prep?
So I don't think it changes a method, but what it does, it just gets it gummier. So think of like gasoline getting down there where it evaporates. The glue is totally opposite. I mean, it's going to sit down there to where it's like wet and everything. You light it on fire. And I mean, it makes it more stickier, but it's also very, very gooey. I mean, it looks cool in pictures where you got the slime and stuff coming off of it, but it's not really the greatest idea to do that. On the streets, I guess you could do it, but you're not supposed to be doing that. But on the track side and igniting the compound, it'll hurt the racetrack more than anything.
All right, there we have it. Well, Kyle, look, thank you for your time, for being on Between the Slicks. See, it wasn't that bad, man.
No, I appreciate you having me on. It's awesome that people even want to talk to me. I'm just up there standing with a switch and sending them the next car. So,
well, I can tell you, people want to hear your story, and they want to hear the stories of so many other people in drag racing. It's more than drivers, and cars don't talk. People want to hear the stories. So thank you for coming on Between the Slicks and helping diversify this show to make it what I think is really the most diverse drag racing talk show at the moment. Kyle, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you to all your sponsors and, all the people that came on and watched. It was a pretty good night, and I appreciate it a lot.
There he is, folks. Kyle Lang, head starter with the PDRA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a good one, bud.
All right, folks, we're going to close down Between the Slicks tonight, episode 21. We're pulling the parachute. We're in the shutdown area, and I'm getting out. But I'm not getting out just for next Thursday. No, getting out for next Tuesday. You might be saying, Lee, what's going on next Tuesday? It is been planned that on Competition Plus, YouTube, Facebook, and their Twitter, that a brand new drag racing talk show that I will host along with Slammin' Sam of Outlaw Performance Entertainment, called the Competition Plus Power Hour. From what I understand, we're going to have a little back and forth, kind of like a Skip and Shannon type of drag racing talk. Skip, that type of scenario, and also have drag racing guests on. The first guest on for the Competition Plus Power Hour that I have been informed and we're trying to get is Ron Capps. So be on the lookout with word from Competition Plus, also on Monday Morning Racer, about a brand new drag racing talk show with a little bit of the edge to it, Competition Plus Power Hour. Well, folks, this has been Between the Slicks with the Monday Morning Racer. Sam, thank you for mentioning that it's a great show. Scott, he says, come to the World Street Nationals League. Maybe. I don't know. Right now, it looks like I'm trying to go to a Southeast Gassers Association race this weekend at Shadyside Drag Strip. If that doesn't happen, maybe a Speedway or Anderson Motor Speedway. I don't know. I'll be somewhere seeing racing, filming it, interviewing drivers. Why? Because I'm the Monday Morning Racer. And until next time, God bless and keep the pedal